You wrote the book. Okay, now what? In this video, we're going to talk about how to get your book in the hands of the right people. You're a published author. You paid top money for a book writing coach, right? You maybe even got a publisher involved to help you in this process. And now the book sits there collecting dust. You maybe have a couple reviews on Amazon, 13 sales, one sale that sneaks up every now and again. What happened? All of that value that's packed in that book is not getting in the hands of the people who it can help. How do we fix that? Let's get into it in this video. Why does this happen to so many experts, coaches, and consultants? They write the book and there isn't a successful rollout of the book. There isn't a ton of demand. And so the book is just sitting there now. Wasted resources poured into this asset. The reason why this happens is because a lot of authors follow the build it and they'll come model. Have you heard of that? I'm sure you've heard of that, right? Build it and they'll come. That is no longer the landscape that we're playing in. We can no longer expect that we are going to create an offer, we're going to create a product or a service, and people are going to flock to buy it from us, right? And when you start thinking about your book as an offer, because that's what it is, we can make a couple tweaks and turn this ship around. So how do we do that? We do that by effectively marketing the book. When do we start marketing the book, you ask? We start marketing the book even before the manuscript is completed. We need a ton of time to market the book. So even before you're done creating your offer, you're gonna wanna have a plan in place that lets people know this is coming. This is something you absolutely have to have in your hands. This is all the value that I could provide you at, such an affordable cost. How much could a book cost? $15, $16, maybe $19.99, right? And I have packed all of the value inside these pages. So we want to let people know that something's coming way before the book is completely finished. Before you hit publish, before you go live on Amazon, we want to create that illusion that this book is the book that people must absolutely read. There's a couple ways that we can go about that. We can set ourselves up with a waiting list, right? Letting people know this book is coming, sign up here to be the first to know when the final copy is live, right? We can use influencer marketing. A lot of people think that influencers are people who have a lot of followers. Listen, in your existing network, you likely have people with influence, right? We don't necessarily have to have people with a lot of followers, but we do need to have people with influence. And if you are a top-notch expert, coach, consultant, if you know your stuff, I bet in your immediate circle, you have a handful of people with influence. Those are gonna be the people that we are going to offer up a copy of the book. And it doesn't have to be a physical copy. It can be a digital version of the book, right? It can be maybe the draft of the manuscript. We want people to get behind the book even before you go live and start to push sales. The other thing that we can do is we can build up anticipation, right? Have you ever walked into one of the big box stores and you're seeing that they are promoting their sales that are coming up for the following season? The big box store isn't really looking to sell you on, okay, you need summer gear and you need glasses and this and that for your summer trips coming up. They just want you to be aware that they have all that stuff, right? That is a place where you can go and get it. We want to follow that same sort of strategy with our book, right? We want people to know this is coming. We're building up anticipation. This also allows us to bring people along on a journey. People love a behind the scenes, right? They want to feel like they were a part of this launch. And so you bring them along for the journey. You share with them, oh, I'm working on my book today and I'm 10 pages in, and how many pages do you think it's gonna be at the end? And what do you think that I'm talking about? What do you think the topic is? Can you help me pick the book cover? If you have ever fallen for this, friend, they're not doing it because they actually want your opinion. They're doing it because it's a strategy to build up anticipation for the book drop. before the book is done and published. They want to bring you along for the journey and build excitement around that. I just gave you 3 strategies that you can use as part of your launch campaign to release your next book. What are we doing here? What is the goal? The goal is to plant as many seeds as possible and then water those seeds. By the time the book drops, there's an audience ready to scoop up their copy. Now let's talk about something super important. We've talked about marketing the book, but now let's talk about the actual book. If you're treating the book like an offer, like the offer that it should be, where does it fall on your value ladder? Right? In some of my other videos, I talk about the value ladder, so go and check those out. But essentially, the value ladder is how do people come onto your world? How do they discover you? How do they get to work with you, right? The book at that $14.99 price point or $19.99 price point could be the very first step on the value ladder. And then we want to ascend them, right? And maybe if you're an expert coach, consultant, if you're a financial advisor or a functional medicine practitioner, health and wellness expert, the book works well because it gives people just enough of a taste of what working with you is like and what type of results they could get. And it's an easy way in. Less than $15 or $20 is a really good price point. But then you ascend them. You build into that offer, into the actual pages of the book. You sprinkle throughout the calls to action. If you're getting value from this book, this is how you can learn more. You send them to your website. You send them to your booking link. You put your contact information in the actual pages of the book. One of the biggest mistakes, I'm going to say, and costly too, that I see in the author space is the book becomes this project that it's almost like a story about themselves. And how am I great? And all the things that I have done that are amazing. The book becomes about the author. We want the book to be about the person that you want to help, right? Your client, your ideal client. Start treating a book like an offer. It's an actual product that should ascend people up the value ladder. Essentially what we're doing here is we're not just telling a story. We are immersing people in our world. If you help people solve a problem that helps them get their finances in check or helps them heal or helps them feel better, boost their stamina, build confidence. If that is the transformation that you can make possible for your clients, you want to pack that into the book. Don't let the book turn into this memoir or this, my story. Let me tell you all the reasons why I'm great. You want to make it about them, less about you. Sprinkle that in naturally, because otherwise, when they're done reading the book, they've also close the chapter on getting the help that they need that you can achieve. Sprinkle that in naturally, and you'll see how those readers, those ideal readers, could then turn into ideal clients. Writing the book felt like the hard part. The truth is we're only getting started. Just because the book has been sitting there doesn't mean that we can't turn the ship around. Create a marketing campaign that lets people know, my book is here. It has the answers to the questions that you've been asking, that you need help with. If you want it to generate leads and attract more people into your world, what is the game plan? What are we gonna do next? How are we gonna take action? Let's make your book get the attention, the sales that it deserves. Let's make sure we get your book in the hands of more people looking for the help that you can provide. If this is an area you're looking for support in, we can connect more. Check out the link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments. Let me know your feedback. Thank you for watching, and check out the next one. I'm Nadia Ramos, brand and marketing growth consultant. I help experts, coaches, and consultants like you turn your knowledge into high-impact brands that drive demand and growth. So follow along, subscribe to the channel, keep an eye out for more content.